Well, the scrap between the burgeoning AI tech industry and artists protecting their intellectual property is heating up, with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer looking poised to allow AI developers unfettered access to the work of artists, musicians, writers and journalists. Here was Treasurer Jim Chalmers' take on it all today.
We're working very hard with Ed's successor, Tim Ayres, with Andrew Charlton, with other colleagues, to make sure that we find that responsible middle path so that we can capture the tremendous upsides of AI at the same time as we manage the very real risks, whether it's to creators or workers and the like.
Joining me now is GXO Strategies Director Cameron Milner and Institute of Public Affairs Research Fellow Saxon Davidson. Cameron, you've written a piece in the Nightly expressing your concern that what you call legal larceny will make its way to Australia. You say the policy is a brazen case of daylight robbery and they want our government to be a willing accomplice. What's the solution here? We want AI to obviously be a big thing in Australia, but we also want to protect artists' rights. Is there a way to do both?
Well, there is. It's for big tech to pay up. I mean, if the data is so valuable, if that's the data they absolutely need to drive their AI engines, then pay for it, license it, pay people for their property rights. No, what big tech wants is they want weak politicians to hand over creative industries data, journalist data, news data, everything for free in daylight robbery. That's what they want. They want the big steal for big tech. That's the problem, James. And they want politicians, weak politicians, to roll over and give it to them. And unfortunately, the example is that Sir Keir Starmer has done exactly that. Labor has done exactly that in the UK. And only the House of Lords is holding that up at the moment, handing over troves after troves of property that people have actually developed in the creative industries and in the news sector as well. Those rights are at huge risk in the UK. And I believe they're at equal rights are at huge risk here in Australia also.
All right, former Tasmanian Greens Senator Bob Brown has made a rallying cry against the Albanese government's planned $1 billion Robbins Island wind farm, promising to mobilise protests unless the government backs down. Bob Brown said today, besides subsidising the slaughter of Tasmania's native forests and wildlife, backing these destructive but unnecessary projects in Tasmania means Albanese and Federal Environment Minister Murray Watt will bring on the biggest public confrontation with environmental defenders here since the Franklin Dam. Saxon, this is probably the first time I've been on the side of Bob Brown, but will he speak up against all the other wind farms or only this one that's in his backyard?
Well, I think that's the hypocrisy of it all. He will only talk against the one that's in his own backyard. And we see this all the time from the Teals and Green types when it comes to renewable energy. There's no way that there would be wind farms on Beach Road here in Melbourne or at Manly Beach or Bondi Beach in Sydney. They pack them away in the Darling Downs or Queensland and Western Victoria or in the central west of New South Wales. It's the biggest hypocrisy of them all. And Bob Brown is one of the most notorious environmentalists and renewable energy pushers in Australian history, at least in the last 30 or so years. And as soon as it's in his backyard in Tasmania, it can't be here. It has to be somewhere else because it affects Tasmanians. Well, these wind factories affect other communities as well. I don't see Bob Brown standing up for them.
Yeah, I look forward to Bob Brown travelling the length and breadth of Australia campaigning against all these wind farms. Just quickly, President Donald Trump has taken control of Washington DC's Metropolitan Police Department, deploying the National Guard in an attempt to crack down on crime. And even America's left-wing ABC news anchor confirmed that crime is indeed out of control in DC. Have a listen.
I can tell you firsthand here in downtown D.C. where we work, right here around our bureau, just in the past 6 months, there were 2 people shot. 1 person died, literally 2 blocks down here from the bureau. It was within the last 2 years that I actually was jumped walking just 2 blocks down from here. And then just this morning, one of my coworkers said her car was stolen a block away from the bureau. So we can talk about the numbers going down, but crime is happening every single day.
Cameron, it's Washington, D.C. today, New York tomorrow. It's a bold move by Trump.
Well, I was actually in the White House 25 years ago, and DC was a criminal organisation then. It was terrible. I mean, there was a section between the White House and DuPont Circle that was safe, and we were told never to leave that area because DC was lawless. It was the murder capital 25 years ago of the US, if you can believe that. So no, I think I'm not a moment too soon. Let's clean up the nation's capital. If that means putting the National Guard on the streets because the cops can't do their job, let's just do it. Let's clean up DC.
Saxon, I'm just wondering if there's viewers watching in Melbourne who think, bring Donald Trump to Victoria.
Well, one could only hope so. But the backlash from the left that you've seen in America is so typical of what you see from the left when it comes to crime. Trump won on a mandate which was very much based on law and order, cleaning up America, and making sure that community safety was at the forefront of what America's politicians were focusing on. And this backlash that you see from the left in America is exactly the same as what you see the left here in Victoria, especially in Melbourne. Violent crime is up. The city has never been dirtier. And all of a sudden, we got the Lord Mayor focusing on the real issues, such as indigenising the calendar and making six seasons. Give me a break. Crime and law and order is more important now here in Melbourne than ever, and there just seems to be no attention paid to it.